All right, question of the day. What is your favorite Super Nintendo beat 'em up game? Like, maybe you were a Combat Tribes person. Yes, everybody's short and stubby, but you can play as all the enemies in the end. Maybe you're Tough Enough, or the other one, the sequel that came out, Rival Streets, something Streets, Rival Gangs. Doesn't matter. Because today we're taking a look at Raising Robots, and while no, this game is not a fighting game, nor is it a game about Super Nintendo games. It's actually a tableau laying game where you get your tableau better, a la like a Wingspan or something like that. But the name Raising Robots definitely evoked the idea of Super Nintendo beat 'em ups in my head. This is a game from Navuoo Studios, and if I love a game from a small producer that then another game comes out, even though the style's a little differently, I definitely turn my eye up and go, ooh, I'm very excited, because Stockpile is one of my favorite games of all time. So when I saw this at the Hot Games table in Calgary, I was very excited. And then I got an email from Seth that same day that said, hey, would you like to check out Raising Robots? Or Raising Robots. I was like, I absolutely would. So let's take a look at Raising Robots from Navuoo Studios, and we will come back, talk final thoughts right here. Hey, before we go any further, do not forget to check out and get your pre-order in now for the group playing shirt. We just got the 8-Bit Tom shirt out, and boy, they look great. I'm very excited about those. People are already having those and wearing them. So get your pre-orders in now. Let's get on to the review. All right, this is Raising Robots in media res, as it were. Now again, this is going to look very similar to the stylings of like a Wingspan, because you've got these different places here where you're going to add robots to, and those robots can be upgraded. You can then use their powers when you take these three actions. You'll essentially take this action, and then depending on the amount of power you have, you'll run it, all the robots on that row. Let's say you did a power of 7 there. You could run anything up to a 7 in this row. Same with these two rows. Now, these two actions here are a little different. This is the upgrade action. You're going to pay a certain number of resources based on the amount of power you have for that round, and then you will upgrade by pulling these tokens off, making these actions better, giving permanent bonuses and things like that. This allows you to assemble a robot, and the robot's cost is also in the top left, and it depends, it's variable how much you have to pay depending on how much energy you have there. Now, at the beginning of the round, what's really cool is you've got your action cards of the 5 different places you can go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to draw 2 of your energy cards, and you will discard them until the middle of the game, at which you'll get to reshuffle all of your energy cards. You'll pick these, and then you'll assign, first of all, if they add any power, you'll assign it once you lay this out. So you'll put like a cube here showing this one will add a power to the area out here. This little board here is shared. So you'll add your power out here, if there is any out there, after you assign these. So let's just say we go to fabricate and recycle. That means this will go over here to recycle. So now our power for recycle is this number plus any cubes there. So 3, 4, 5. This one doesn't add cubes, but it means that if there's a cube at that action, which there is, it counts as doubled. So we have 2, 4 there. So that's how you get your power cost. You'll play 8 rounds. Person with the most points at the end of the game wins the game. But essentially, the power is your life in this game. You need to get that power as high as you can, because the higher your power, the better actions you're going to have to take advantage of. Everybody also gets a player, an inventor, and they're all named after different people. We've got, I think, Shigeru over there, which is Miyamoto, which is pretty awesome, as well as a whole bunch of different ones. So lots of cool options there, and different expansions that came with it also are going to have pets that are going to score based on things around it, which is pretty neat. But that is how you play Raising Robots. All right, so that is Raising Robots. First and foremost, the game looks great. The components are fantastic. As we go art direction, and gameplay. Now, the only thing I'm going to ding this game on as far as production is the cards are very thin. However, there's a workaround in this because they give you sleeves. Now, I'm not a guy who sleeves my cards, but if I was, I would definitely throw them in the sleeves, and that would not be a problem at all. But the game looks great. The art in this game is super great. It's this very cute, cartoonish kid art, because you're playing as children inventors, inventing robots with some of the coolest robot art on them ever. Like, you see all the different ones. They're all nicknamed. They all have interestingly thrown together pieces to make them. There's the control V and control P, which I think is really great, or control C, control P. One is a copier, one is a printer. You have the people who are their own record players. You have the movie camera guy. So there's a lot of really cool art in this game when it comes to the robots themselves. The symbology in the game is also pretty simple. Usually everything means pay this to get this, or have up to these, plus versus arrows pointing down, and every symbol I came across in the game is given on one of these reference sheets, whether it's in with the inventors, whether it's in with the main game, the back of the book. Everything I needed, I came across. So very well done on a rule book. It's an excellent rule book that teaches you really simply how to play this game, and also while you're playing, quick reference on what else to do. So huge fan of that. Now, gameplay. As the game plays, this has a couple wrinkles that I really like. Now, I didn't mention class cards in the overview, though. Their class cards are gold cards that you can get. You can get up to 2 for free during the game. You can get more by doing things during the game to get those cards. They're cool the way you score them, plus you can get extra credit by choosing one of your upgrade tokens and putting it on there, which bumps you up an entire letter grade. I think that's really cool. Now, one of my favorite things is having the energy deck be shuffled. So every turn is a little random, but there are ways to mitigate that based on what you choose to upgrade. And then I like that you pick those 2 cards and then you choose which 2 actions to assign them to, which is funny because then in the end of the game, you're only getting about 16 actions. It's 8 rounds and 2 actions each turn. But if you play your cards right, those robots that you choose to run will definitely help you do the things that you needed to do based on the other actions, whether it be getting resources or points and things like that. So I really like the way this has the 2 kind of more utilitarian actions of, well, I can upgrade or I can build my robots, and then I can run an entire row of robots. So usually a good strategy is pick one of those 2 actions and then one of your rows, and then run that row of robots. I will say strategy-wise, I'm thinking that you probably don't need to focus on all 3 areas. In fact, I didn't get a single red resource the entire game. One of the other things I really like about this is almost everything has a variable cost. Like all the robots have, you can do this version or you can do this version if it's upgraded. Even when buying the robots, you can choose to spend more energy to buy the robot and less resources. Or you can say, well, I've got plenty of resources, just not a lot of energy to spare, so let me use it on this. So to me, that is a really cool thing, that variability. Overall, this is a fantastic game that's going to see a lot of play to come. Like I said, it was on the Hot Games at Calgary YYC, the Tabletop Day YYC, and really cool looking. And so as soon as I got my copy and started playing it, I really enjoy this. I give this an 8.5. Super fun game, super great art. Love playing this game. So that is Raising Robots from Navuoo Studios. I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Bryan. Until next time, we'll see you.